All right, let's get started this morning. My name is Amanda Cardenas. I'm a senior product manager at Seilevel. I have been here for 6 years. Seilevel offers training such as this one, but we also are a professional services company that helps our customers change the way that they do requirements. So we offer various product management and agile courses to our customers. We also go and help our customers and coach their internal employees or work alongside them on actual projects to help them be more successful, make sure that they are building the right things and achieving the goals they're trying to achieve. So this is something that I get to do because I'm a certified trainer here, but my day job is actually the same as yours. I'm really a product manager, and I'm normally working on a project for my customers. Okay, so we've talked about how you use certain types of models in your everyday day-to-day life, but how do we use models for requirements? There was a concept developed by a psychologist, George Miller, in 1956 that's called Miller's magic number. Miller's magic number says that the human brain can only process 7 plus or minus 2 things at any given point in time. So if you're trying to memorize or think about 12 different things at once, your brain just can't handle that. So given this limitation, if you're thinking about lists of requirements, typically we have much more than 9 requirements, right? So how are we supposed to process all the information for more than 9 requirements at a given time if we can't remember that many things? If I give you a list of requirements, and think about them as a jumbled up group of letters, tell me if you can figure out which one's missing here, or if this list is complete. Once I organize them visually, now I can clearly see that there was a hole in my diagram and I was missing one of the letters. Because this is the letter at the end of the sequence, I might not have realized that even if I had started to connect the dots and realized there weren't any holes in it. Yep, that's complete, but there was something missing at the end. Once we organized it, it was a lot easier to see there was a hole, right? This is what visual models help us do in requirements. It helps us organize our information in a way that's easy to comprehend and understand. I can take big pieces of information, tons of information about a large project that's going on, and organize it in ways that we can look at individual chunks. I can look at things and make sure that everything is complete and I'm not missing things. I'm not throwing in other things that don't really fit together. I can also give context. If I'm talking about something very detailed, I can create models that give you a high-level context and then focus you on a certain area so that you understand how these details fit into our bigger picture, but we're going to stay focused on a smaller area. This is really good for agile projects where we're going very deep on little pieces at a time, and we might have business stakeholders who are uncomfortable with the fact that there are a lot more unknown things in the bigger picture. Here's our big picture and where we're going. We know there are things out there, but we're going to stick to this little sliver right now. Are there any questions so far? So we're looking at a section of our eStore feature tree here. Our simplified checkout path is going to have some sort of cart summary, our single shipping and billing page, because we're trying to simplify the checkout path, order creation. We've already had some conversations about cart summary and these things have come up, so I've gone ahead and put my L3 features under cart summary. You notice there's nothing else here yet. That's not necessarily because there aren't any L3 features, it's because those haven't been defined yet, and I'm in the middle of organizing all of this information. As we go along and start having these conversations, we might realize that we're missing requirements and that we need to add other things in. So now that we've talked about the feature trees, let's break out into our groups and create our own feature trees in your groups. You could continue to use the eStore example. The feature tree exercise you guys did really great on. I saw a lot of different groups doing different things. Some of the groups started trying to start with an L1 or a high level feature and driving down into all the lower level features for that. I really think it's a lot easier to actually leave it open-ended early on and brainstorm or collect information that you've had from your conversations and then start organizing it from there. One of the groups in the back saw that whenever they had started organizing their stuff and realized there was actually a more logical way to organize it, and they went back and changed all their L1 features later on. That actually happens to me on projects all the time, and that's okay because once we know more information, there's no reason to stick to something that we defined early on if we're not too far down the road, and it's not going to mess up everything. This group had a lot of really good questions about adding in more features. They kind of did that brainstorming exercise early on, but then realized that there were other things they wanted to add later, and they realized that they wanted to go back and add those once they were organizing the feature tree. That's okay too. This is another one of those things that helps us realize that we have gaps. I may have thought my scope was one thing. As I'm getting into the conversations, I realize they're the things that we need to do to support that. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything I define very early on in my project in these brainstorming exercises is going to end up being included in my product or necessary. It may not end up rolling back up, excuse me, to those business objectives that we defined earlier, and if they don't, then they're not part of the scope of our project. Good job, guys.